Good morning, friends. Today's activity is to take a 2-year-old garden and give it a facelift. That's the first thing, so it's a big cleanup. The second thing is this wall that I'm sitting at, this bed, we cleaned out this whole bed and we're taking the wall thing off, which thank goodness we've waited so long to get that off and I'm so glad it's gone. And then we'll paint the wall and we'll take this garden that's already been cleaned up a little and kind of shove everything back a little to give it more of a entrance, because this is her entrance from her driveway, which she doesn't really use very much anyway. But we are here today. We're gonna work a few hours today and a few hours tomorrow, and this place is gonna be buttoned up and beautiful. Here comes the garbage. Should never do that without your gloves on. Put them on, take them off. Don't you know that saying? No glove, no love. I feel good. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yummy. Smell this one. So lovely. Come here, take a whiff. Take a whiff.
What
For
is
you.
this one?
Jasmine. It's called, this is the original jasmine. Jasmine OG, baby.
Jasmine.
Can you take a whiff of it? Yep. It's called Jasmine Officinata. So the official jasmine. It's so nice, and it can take sun too. But it smells so good. It's a different vibe. I was thinking maybe it's not tall enough in here. Let me see something.
Jasmine Aficionado. Jasmine OG is a better name.
I know, I like it better. Thank you, I named it. I'm gonna put the OG over here. Oh, it smells so nice in here. Jasmine OG, baby. I love this place. Look at how much nicer the Helichrysum looks over here. I think it less sun. And whatever it is, it's lovely on this side. You know what else I think? It goes a lot deeper in here. If you look at it, if we let this go too long, you can see it's already taking over the agave. So this one they just keep up with a little bit nicer. But you see it's eating this euphorbia that's in there. So some of it still could come out next to this beautiful Vitex, which we're gonna make stand up a little. For some reason I can't keep my clothes on today. Some people say vigorous, I say vicious. I'm gonna just take a little more of this crusty whoopie. See if I separate them. Keep it all off the tree in here. I'm gonna sit myself down and get in here. Oy.
This stuff smells really strong.
Huh?
It smells really strong.
I know, it really is strong.
Okay,
It's a mix of, what do you smell, lemon?
Yeah, it smells like lemon.
I'm gonna cut some of this back. So so these are also part of the woodies. If you cut out some of the hard woodies, they kind of flow a little bit better. And the whole idea of this one is we're gonna kind of turn it into a tree. So I'm gonna bring myself in here, as ladylike as I can. I'm gonna lift this up a little, and I'm gonna see what I can cut off of it. Watch this. This will make a big difference too. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Yes, I am. Some of these hardy woodies.
What did you call it?
Hardy woodies, all the way from Sherman Oaks, California. Ladies and gentlemen, a purple vitex to be turned into a tree. For it. Now the question is, should I just do this and take off this? Would that make a difference? Or do I leave this? You see what I mean? When you take out some of that stuff, it gives it a different shape. What do you say? This.
Hold it right there.
This is.
I think I gotta see it from the pool.
So this is version A. Be careful, because I can just see you backing up. That would give me a giggle, though, Zach. Okay, so this is version A to remove a big chunk. And this is version B to keep a big chunk.
Can we do it again?
Without. I think I know.
What do you think?
Without. What do you say?
Without it.
Without it, right? I don't know if I'll be able to do it without Ramon. Ramon? Can you help me? All the way at the bottom, in here.
Oh. Here?
Yep. Yes.
Iron grip on that one, huh?
I know, he's got a grip. But we pay him the big bucks, folks. See how much better that is? It's still gonna trim a little more. Up, and it's lovely. This just changed this garden right here. Let me see something. Am I hearing things? Okay, see what I mean? Now we make this into a canopy. It'll be so lovely. I could even go one more, and I'm gonna. Let me see what we got here. Got to get up, back up, look around. Oh yeah, hell yeah. As soon as I post that thing up with a steak and potato, I have a whole different thing. I love these things that are supposed to look like umbrellas. That's my idea of goodness. So the whole feeling is to get it over like so. So pretty. It's lovely. Actually, I'm so proud of this garden because when you look around here, like I said, 2 years in, it is so beautiful here. There's so much, and what I love most about this garden is it's more leaves and textures than flowers. And leafy texture gives you year-round. Flowers give you this fabulous flash in the pan goodness. Leaves give you a constant. So the question is, would you rather have a fast quickie or a slow burning long one? I know what I'd rather have. I'd like it to look good for over time as opposed to like, you gotta get here in 2 weeks or you're gonna miss everything I have. This is some salvia, folks. Yeah, this is happy, called lipstick. And this is really the way you should let your salvias be. It's a little bit beastly for a you know, a garden box, but you can see they take care of it underneath here. I'm gonna clean it a little bit underneath. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna get under here, and I'm gonna take off some of the crust. Cut it back. Now, if you wanted to make a bouquet for just one day, you could bring this and add a few other things. I'm gonna make one for her. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to make a bouquet out of all your plants. So we're gonna start with this one right here, okay? Hold on, let me just finish this. See how it just pops up and then I see what's hanging lower? And I'm gonna crusty that, take it out. But I am gonna show you. And especially I'm gonna make one for the homeowner today because she's not feeling fabulous. So let's make her something pretty out of her own garden. Hold on, you ready? I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna come in here and take this. This is a fabulous plant called penstemon. I always use it because it works. So when I cut my flowers, I clean off the bottoms so the stems can go in a glass of water without being too messy. I try to give myself a little stem all the way along so then I can put it in a little container. I'm gonna give her one more penstemon in here. Let's take one off the side. Penstemon in here. What else do we have in this garden? Ooh, look at these butterflies. Come here. Pull off some of the bottom of that. I mean, wouldn't you love to come to somebody's house and get that? Bring that with you? When you have a garden like this, you can bring it with you. Hold on, let me pick a fatty over in here. Right? Let's use that. This is a little too skinny to use. What else do we have in here? Let's get some more purple over here. All right, hold on. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to start with this one. Right here, I'm going to kind of cut off the bottom a little because it's a little long. So this is my main vein. I'm going to make it, it's a little thick, watch. So there's that one. And then I'm going to take this one. The bottom's already feeling better. And I'm going to take some of the stuff off of this one. Boom. Take off the bottom of this one. There's that. Let me take off the bottom of this. There's that. I mean, come on, look at this beauty. And it's so pretty, right? We'll wait for her to come get it.
You look so proud.
I do, I like it. It's so, and this, look at this place. I'm happy, this feels so good. Look at this place. Look at these cactuses. These are called cactuses with a hairdo. They're so sweet until you get too close to them. I feel good. So when you use 4 plants in a container, you've definitely got to keep them separated or they become a big globular. Especially this plant called Helichrysum. It's the licorice plant that I keep cutting out, and if you'll look over there, you'll see where I took it out because it just is a takeover. So the smaller one is a little bit easier to work with and to keep clean, but it too is a vigorous grower. So it needs a haircut on a regular basis. Look at this, and it's like one wad. So I lift up and take all the crusties from underneath. A little muscle on that thing as I go roughshod on it. Here we go. So the kaleidoscope plant has its moment to shine. I'm gonna trim it up a little more. Look at that. Ain't she sweet? Wow. Not even connected. So I'm separating things. This is the licorice plant that grows all into everything. So it needs to be yanked out and separated. Then we can clean it up a little. So this is all in here. Lift this. When you start detangling, you can see what you have in here. So let me see. I'm going to cut some of the bottoms. Some of these long ones are just too long in here. I'm going to really get up in here and just take this whole ponytail and yank it. You cannot cut enough. Sometimes if you wait too long, which I'm going to show you happened in the other bed, we just have to take the whole thing out. So actually this is kind of year 2.5 on this one. We probably could take it out and maybe be a little bit better off, but that wasn't the plan. So I'm just trying to pull this out of here because it just suffocates things. See that? Now we can pull this a little more forward. Get up all in here. There we go. Get some of these long stickies. Then I kind of zhuzh it back. I'm gonna go a little under here. Take some of the long ones. Lift it a little, just take some of the longs. I'm gonna take some of this, look at that thing. So it'll sit nicer if this is all out. Look at that. That is what you don't want. It's like cleaning out the hairbrush in here. Okay, so this one, look at all that in here. Let me see. See that in there? It's so matted that I'm going to lift this a little and take off some of the mat. If we do this on the regular, by the end of spring, at the beginning of summer, this should be really pretty. If I separate it, it doesn't look as interesting when it's all separated, So it's gonna have probably a few weeks till it gets good, but as we like to say, the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 2 weeks. So if we let this sit for a minute after we cut all this crusties off of it, it'll probably take us 2 weeks and it'll be so pretty again. See how much better that already is? This I might need to go back. We'll have to vote on that Heliochrysum, see if it's worth it keeping it or if we should get something else. But you can at least see the vibe here. It's so much better as we move along and separate them as opposed to a big wad that we have on this. You see the next? You can't even really see what you got in here because it's completely smothered. So I start by lifting this kaleidoscope because this is kind of the main star of the show. The others are hanger, honors, and unders. So I try to lift this because it has so much good color in it. Now this one does have the lamium hanging, barely. I mean, look at that. You can barely see it in there, but it's there. Because this kaleidoscope really took over on this one. Wow, look at that-ness. Crust? To crust or not to crust? That is the question. And the answer is not to crust. So I will decrust. This is called decrusting here. I did take a lot of it with it, but it'll give me an opportunity to let this thing breathe. It smells like lemons in here. Do you smell it? I don't know what it is. The licorice plant does smell like that, but I smell something else. I don't know what. Huh?
I thought it might be your gum.
I don't have any.
What were you chewing earlier?
Flowers.
Not
Bitter.
bad.
A little bitter.
You were chewing on this earlier?
Hmm?
You were chewing on that earlier?
I was chewing gum.
You were chewing gum?
I was chewing gum. My cud. As we know, we like to do our hand jobs. This takes a very special hand job, a pruning hand job. I already took my overalls off. Took my overalls off ready for my hand job. I mean, you see how it's stuck in there. I can't even, has to be pulled apart like that. Feels almost as satisfying as picking a zit. Okay, so you see in here all these long ones. I go down in here because you can see where it is in there. You don't even know how to figure out what's separating the men from the boys. Here.
I have a feeling you're about to tell me.
Hmm?
I have a feeling you're about to tell me.
What am I about to tell you?
What separates the men from the boys?
Oh, what does separate the men from the boys? That. And a good eye. A good eye separates the men from the boys. Because at this point, these started out as boys and now they're men. So we got to keep up with them. But you see, this one was laying down, and now that we cleared off the goop, she's as happy as a clam. I called her a she now. They are happy. Okay. Now you can see in there, so this was planted here, this one planted here, and they're just all a mess. See what I mean? Zach, look at all that. It's all in there. I'm gonna take this one out. Some of these back ones, I'm just gonna cut right from the bottom. And then I just zhuzh. Wait, but I'm gonna take out these too, because you see these up in here, watch. Boom. You can figure out when you gently hand job what belongs where. If you start yanking a little too hard, it's hard to judge where they are. But I'm gonna pull out these because we don't not want them in there. Okay, See, I got all that. Now I've separated. You can see the lamium is still in here, barely. And you see all the bugs and stuff on there? That's all from plants. Look in there, you see all that crust? Kind of diseased, white on here. This black stuff over here. It's not just dirt, it's bug. Okay, that looks better. And if I yank this, because this is a hangover, but it was just crust that got beaten up by the kaleidoscope. But you see, if you lift them, it'll show you where they are and how to cut them. And then watch and see how this is. I'm gonna pull off all the crust, and then I'm gonna go like this, and I'm still gonna zhuzh them. But before I zhuzh, I'm gonna see, but I already separated everything, so it's giving it a fair chance. But I'm still gonna come up in here, and I'm gonna clean while I have it open. Come here, look. All this has to come out. So I try to lift them and clean underneath the soil. Then when I go to feed them, it's not all stuck on leaves. Right? So you can still get a feeling. I'm gonna trim that a little bit more because it's too big. But now at least you can see there was 4 plants, but at least there's 3 plants in here. Look at that. Oh! Jeez almighty. Okay. Gotta thin it out. Okay. Does that look better? Or it's still kind of crusty mess? Who's that sports guy? Oh, Don King. Don King's hair in the morning. Alicia Blass's hair in the morning. Yeah, way better. There's a story here, folks. Here's the story of a lovely licorice. Okay, that looks better. I'm gonna clean up a little more in here. Cut off some of this. I think it is the licorice. Okay. At least we have a fighting chance here with this. They look better. I love these kaleidoscopes. Okay, last one. Let's go. Let me get dressed before my final hand job. Wanna move my dancing feet. I'm gonna cut off some of the long ones under here too. Right? I can cut a little more from here. It's killing me because I can't think of the word of this plant. It starts with an A. Okay, there we go. A bit better, right? It's gonna take a minute to sit. And I could probably go a little bit more on this one. Okay. So that's a start. Looks a little cleaner, right? Yeah, at least now we know we got 3 plants in here. Let's go look at the wall over here because we took off all the containers on that wall. This is a wall that's been nothing but trouble from the beginning. the containers came on before I got here. And when I got here, I said, I think we should take the containers off. But she said, let's try to fill them one more time. So we tried, we filled them with oregano, and I made like this design in it. Never worked. She first had succulents, then she went to the oregano, and then we talked about using fake flowers, which is like, oh. But I said, okay, and then I called the distributor of like the best fake flowers, and he said, against a wall in full sun, you will not have those plants for more than a year. They'll be so faded and they'll look plastic. So she was like, let's just get rid of it. And I'm so glad we did. And you will see why, because it's a huge difference. When you have something that takes that much work, you have to stay on that like a full-time job. And we did stay on it, and it still didn't work. So it needs to be set up properly. Like it's just watering against the wall, you should never do that. The system did not have proper water from the beginning. So we tried to put it in after the fact. And these are too much work. It's just too hard to do that kind of thing from the beginning. You have to like lay the water in from the very beginning before you even put the plants in. And we didn't have any of that. So we're taking it off, and we pulled out some of the Helichrysum, and I want you to come over here and see how lovely it's going to look. So this house had a system, a wall system on it, and this was it. It comes in pieces. The first piece was the felt pot that fits in, and it fits into the plastic container like this. And we connected them with wires because they were falling out as they got wet or a squirrel came and got them. So we connected this to this, and then it hangs on this. And that was the system. But actually, this system should have been on a piece of wood underneath it, so it came away from the wall a little bit. And then on the wood, we could have put the water system, but none of that happened. Because when we first came, they were kind of sunk in here without this. I can't show you because I can't cut it out, but this whole thing was sitting in here, and as it got heavier, they kept plopping out. So we locked them all up in here like so, and it still didn't work. So this was directly on the wall, and this was directly on that thing, and they just kept watering the wall when they thought about it, but it wasn't properly watered ever. So when you have a system like this, if you don't evenly water, half of it looks crusty and half of it looks beautiful. It never was right. We took all these cups off. I think there were 217 of them, to be exact, on this wall, all the way across. And now we're going to let this thing grow up a little taller. We can put a few things in here more. And we're going to paint the white wall. And we're going to bring it back to normal. And it looks so much cleaner without it, because this is another thing. If these don't look pretty, they look horrid. It isn't even like sort of good. It's either they're fabulous or they're horrible. So I feel like if you use this system, if you don't do it properly, it will never be right. Put that in your mind so you know these are not easy to take care of. This is a full-time job. So you know my opinion on that one. These are gone, and I'm so happy. And we're gonna toss them into the can. So we started first there. You see how big and bushy everything is? And you start those, were all those in there. Taking it to the streets. Did you see how big that Helichrysum is there? Down to nothing. Look how big that all was. Giant hangovers. It'll be like back to that in a month. So this box, we've really changed the whole vibe in here. And once the wall gets painted and the trees go up, it'll have a whole different feeling. But I just want to share with you, this is the Euphorbia flower. It's so cool, I can't cut it down. It's too good to have. Dark green and the light green. But what I really want you to see is this. So as you'll see in the picture, this big Helichrysum, a licorice plant, came out to here. And we cut it out, we pulled it out. We aren't even gonna use it. But you see the Helichrysum, we couldn't get it under control. So it went one place. Basura. This whole crusty was the bottom of that Heliochrysum. Look at what that looks like. That is what happens. This is the Heliochrysum alive. This is it on its last limb. And this is it because it's already passed. So the 3 phases of Heliochrysum, dead, dead, and deader. But it looks so good. I do need to put something in there to kind of give it a hangover, and I'll get something in there. But it is really good. So they're gonna hammer the steak down today, and it'll give us such a different feeling. It'll just button up the whole bed. Because it goes from this to this. Giant. That feels so much better when we lose the things we don't need. Wish I could do that to my thighs. She was moving and grooving and dancing to the rhythm. We're gonna move these garden beds and all the stuff that's underneath them. And we're gonna create a potager for this woman. And a potager is a mix of herbs and fruit and vegetables and smell goods. So we're gonna create a potager with these 2 beds and a couple of pots. So you will watch us transform. We're gonna move them from here over to there, and we're going to fill them. That is our project for today. So I'm gonna go to the car and I'm gonna get all my plants that I have and bring some out. Yeah, it is looking, look at these roses. Damn. Let me see what I got here. Ugh. Holy Moses. Explaining what we're using that we can use in a potager. This is sage. It is not edible. There is edible sage, but this is ornamental sage. And it smells lovely, and you can use it, oh, it broke. This one, if you smelled this, it smells like somebody's armpit after 9 hours of basketball, and it's called rue. Ew, rue, ooh, rue. We can use rue. People use rue to cook with, God help us all. It's edible, smellable, and it flowers. Perfect for a potager. Another fabulous plant for a potager called lemon verbena. You could eat this. You can put it in your tea. It smells lovely. So all of these, even if you don't cook with them, they all make a flower and they all smell delicious. And this is a junior. This one's a slower growing. Rosemary, I could smash my face in it. This is all for the potager. We have basil, spearmint, strawberries. These are sages to eat, and a thyme. So that's all gonna go in. This is another fabulous plant called Speedwell. I always use this hanging over on things. This is not edible, nor is it smellable, but it's so dainty and pretty that I like it. Ooh-roo! Right on. Oops, I'm gonna go grab it.
Right on.
Okay, I want to put one here and one here somewhere. If I can put them both here, that's fabulous. One. Two.
Looks good. What's the dealy bop?
So this is old dirt, which I'm gonna kind of keep a little bit of. So my question is, I don't even think this has holes in it. I mean, that would be an answer to why this stuff never worked. I do not see a flippin' hole in here. It's like plastic. No. I mean, I feel like that is what's wrong with these. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say about this.
No holes?
No, there's no holes. I just emptied that one and I see nothing.
They're probably clogged up.
Clogged up? I don't see. I looked on the bottom. I see nothing.
There's no holes? So what is
Those are holes? Those are holes. Okay, not very good.
But, I mean, we can just drill some holes.
That's what I think. So do we gotta wait to do this?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna wait on these.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Right, so
Well, that'll be phase B. I'll do that this afternoon.
Yeah, we did today.
All right.
I just want to focus on that tomorrow.
Yeah, good. And him and I are working tomorrow, so I won't be able to be here anyway. Yeah, and we're gonna change the water, as you said. Not change it, but you know.